Hey everyone, and welcome. My name's Aaron, and today we're taking a look at the Coppersound Strategy Preamp. I'll be playing my Fender Modern Player Starcaster through my Jackson Newcastle 18. And here is my clean tone. Wow. Okay. All right, so this is the Coppersound Strategy Preamp. Really interesting, fun little pedal. First of all, this thing looks like the pickguard tone and volume and input jack of a Fender Strat, which is just so much fun. This is hilarious. This is where you plug it in here. It's like you're plugging in your guitar to another guitar. They will actually customize. They have a bunch of different custom colors, and if you order one of these, they'll match it to your guitar. And then the sound of this thing is just monstrous through what I've got going anyway in my setup. It's a preamp, and that's kind of what it sounds like, which is, how does a preamp sound, Aaron? It sounds very big, very like ballsy, and tons of output being pushed into your amp. I found it sort of interesting when you start kind of at 0 on both of these knobs. It's sort of like transparent. There is a little bit of a change. So there's just, you know, straight in. Turn it on, both knobs all the way down. Doesn't really get louder, maybe gets a little brighter. Let's hear it. Okay, it gets a tiny bit louder and a tiny bit brighter, and it just goes up from there. They say in the manual that the tone control is not only a top end lift, but it's also a bass cut. So as you turn up the tone, you'll be adding top end and cutting bass. So it's sort of a kind of a little tone shaper. I loved it with this setting where the volume's like pretty cranked, and I got the tone like kind of down here. It's actually hard to tell where 0 and 1 is because it's at a strange angle. But, oh my word. That's like Led Zeppelin licks all day. One thing about this pedal is it's a little bit funny. You gotta watch out for buffers and for like just other pedals. I did a whole series of tests yesterday and this morning, putting it before a buffer, after, you know, in between, like before a pedal that was like a true bypass. I found that it worked the best when you had pedals before it. So when you don't have a bunch of stuff after it. When you had stuff after it, it started getting weird. And I don't know if that's just because the output of the pedal is like so hot that it's like killing all of the other pedals, like everything after it's just like, I can't take it, because it is pushing a ton of volume. I've said this so many times before, but I love the way my amp overdrives. And I mean, honestly, one of the biggest things this pedal's doing is just pushing volume into my amp. And so I just like that sound. It's like turning my amp up. So I'm like, I mean, that's definitely one that you want to pair with the right amplifier. If I had this pushed into my like Fender Excelsior, we'd be in a completely different land, and you know, maybe that'd be interesting too. But definitely this is one to kind of try with your setup. But the minute I plugged it in, it was just like, and turned it up and hit a chord on the Starcaster. It was just like magic. It reminds me a little bit of my Hudson Electronics Broadcast, which is kind of my my number one overdrive, sort of my little darling pedal, and nothing can quite beat it. But it's in that territory where it's this like super aggressive, completely full range, signal being pushed into your amp, especially with the tone control down further. That's kind of more of a full range, accentuating the low end, maybe with it up just like a little bit. When you turn it up, it does really cut the bass. So if I get kind of a bassy sound here, neck pickup, aggressive. I mean, it's not dark, but it's got some low end to it. Start cranking that tone. Let's just turn it all the way up. That almost sounds like a treble booster type of sound. Especially if you have a lot more gain, like let's just crank them both. That almost sounds like the neck pickup on a Strat, honestly. It's kind of that throaty that like almost like a single coil, which is like, hey, that's what the pedal looks like. It looks like a Strat. You can also run this pedal at 18 volts, which will give it even more headroom and less breakup. But I really love it at 9 volts. It's like, it's pushing plenty of volume into my amp, and I really like the way it breaks up and kind of makes my amp break up. So really fun little pedal right here. And by the way, the guys over at Coppersound sent me this little gift. What is it, Aaron? Is it a little mini stomp box? Nope. It's a flashlight. Shine a light on all your pedals for when you're setting stuff up. I laughed out loud when I got this in the mail. So they actually sell these on their website, not the Aaron Sternke version, but you can custom make your own version where you can like upload some graphics and make your own like little flashlight. I mean, how fun is that? You gotta have fun sometimes in this life. It's not all about pedals and tones and stuff. But the strategy, really cool. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. Let me know if you have any questions about this pedal down in the comments below. That's it from me today. We'll see y'all next time.